Hey, this is just a quick walkthrough preview of a new version of structured prompt that we're going to be releasing over the next couple weeks or so. So I'm going to add a prompt. I'm logged in as a new user. I'll click on Add Prompt. I'm going to just call this prompt Tell Time. And scrolling down, I don't want a freeform prompt. I'd like this to be a structured prompt. And I'm going to use AI Assist, which is now integrated with the prompt editor. And I'm just going to copy and paste in my top level prompt. So my prompt is write a lesson plan to teach students to tell time using an analog clock. I can select whatever prompt format I want. The new tool has a different type of editor that makes it possible to add a lot of different prompt types. So right now, we have just a couple. We have three different prompt types, but we'll be able to add a lot more moving forward. So I'm going to click Build My Prompt, and this will generate a Tracy prompt for me. This is reaching out right now to the OpenAI API and generating this prompt. So here's my prompt. I'm going to copy it to the clipboard and then just paste it into my text of prompt in my editor. And you can see, I won't go into it now, but this uses notation. So, each new line is a plus. The next level after that is plus plus, and so on up to 5 levels deep. So we don't have to worry about writing JSON, YAML, or XML. This will do it for us, and it'll kind of extrapolate based on this new notation. If I wanted to, add a new rule under audience, it's this simple. I just do it in the text editor. So it makes it much easier to edit prompts, and it also makes it a lot more flexible as we move forward. So I'm just going to go ahead and save that prompt as it is right now. And this is my prompt screen. So if I look at the view full text of the prompt, this has converted it to JSON for me. And I can copy that prompt to the clipboard and go out to ChatGPT, and use it straight from there if I want to. The other thing I'd like to show you is the elements section. This basically replaces our prompt parameters section on the original structured prompt. So prompt parameters were very specific. You had to create a role, you had to create a intent, a task, and that kind of thing. This is much more flat, so I can create really any kind of element I want, and then add that piece of code to my prompt. So it's basically a library of prompt parts, but it still retains the functionality from the original tool. We can still create roles and that kind of thing. So I'm going to create a role. I'll just call it role first grade teacher, and I'm going to build it with AI Assist, and I'll select role from my choices. I'm just going to paste this over. So I want a first grade teacher in a US elementary school. I can have it create up to 20 rules. I'm just going to have it do 10. So I'll click on Build Element, and again, this is going out to the uses the OpenAI API to generate my role for me. So here's the role for the first grade teacher at a U.S. elementary school. Creates lesson plans, provides instructions, etc., etc. So that looks good. I'm going to copy that to my clipboard, and I'm going to paste it here into the text of my prompt element and save it. So at that point, I have this role that I can use in any of my prompts. So I can go back to my tell time prompt and edit it. And I can highlight the role that's there now because I don't need that anymore. I'd like to replace it with this element. So I go to my Add Elements link, and I can do one of two things here. I can copy the element text to clipboard, which actually copies verbatim, that role that we just generated. That'll work. I can also add elements and copy the linked element to clipboard. And this puts in this little notation. It makes it tells me what the role is, and then refers to it by the ID of that role. And when I save that, it pulls in the full role. So it's referring, back to this element, the database version of this element, pulling it in real time and displaying it. So the pro of that is if I go over to elements and make a change to this first grade teacher role, which I might use this role in 57 prompts, and I don't want to have to go and change it every time. So if I change this from a U.S. elementary school to a North Carolina elementary school, I just changed it in my element, but it also changed it in my prompt because the prompt refers to the element. So that's pretty powerful. So the other thing we added was a projects section. We can add project folders just for you. So I can create my own lesson plans folder. And then any prompts or elements that I add to that folder, I can do right here, assign to my projects, submit, and from that point forward, that prompt is pegged to my lesson plan project until I remove it. So this gives me a place that I can go and have all of my grouped projects together, whether they're a topic like lesson plans, or they could be a client if you're running an agency or what have you. So really powerful there too. The last thing I wanted to show you was teams. Teams are groups of structured prompt users, basically. At this point, everyone will have access to all teams. So you'll be able to access the sales and marketing team, learning and development, and so on. But in our case, if I want to, I could go and take my time prompt and edit it, and I can share with team projects. So here's my learning and development prompts. And at that point, I can go over to Teams, and anyone can go over to Teams and go to the Learning and Development Prompts project and see my prompt that I just added. So this is great for community prompting, and I'm excited about how people will use this. Hopefully we'll share some cool stuff. But that's pretty much it. That's the preview. And again, hopefully next couple weeks we'll be able to release this to everyone. Okay, thank you.